Can say it.
Hello and welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Backgammon Club study session for April 16th, 2025. If you are interested in joining us for a study session or for our tournaments that happen every Wednesday evening, send an email to midatlanticbg@gmail.com. Okay, we're going to get started here. We're right in the thick of a wild game where we are trying to contain two checkers, which is pretty difficult to do. Um, we also have a pretty serious disadvantage of two buried checkers that are not doing us much good at all. Okay, so we got to figure out what to do here. And I'm sure we're nowhere near a cube for a couple of reasons. One is that, well, they have two checkers that can easily slide past us. And the other reason is simply the score, right? We don't want to be redoubling at the score. We're leading three away, five away, holding a two cube. You got to be pretty sure when to redouble. Okay, so let's roll them and see what we can do. All right, 3 and 2. So can all throw out some candidate plays.
Hmm.
The deafening silence says to me nobody
Well,
has any idea what to do.
I'm the worst. So I would do
Worst.
I would do 24-22 and 4-1. So keep staying behind, keep being diversified. I don't think it's important to cover the 18 point with a three, but again, that's a thought.
Okay, one thing about 4-1 is you may want to play that three later. It's
Yeah.
not clear that you want to play it now.
That's a good point. Okay.
On the other hand, I don't really want to bring the 18 up much higher.
What about 24-19?
Okay. About 21-16.
That would probably be preferable. I don't want to leave the 24. That's my safety.
Yep, that's good point. Yeah, 21-16.
'Cause
That's my
even
vote. It's a super majority of one here.
I see Bill Powell on video, but Bill, you are muted.
That's why you didn't hear me say 21-16. Right before
21-16.
Tom said
Okay.
it. That was kind of interesting. I thought he was echoing me, but obviously we both just had the same thought. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
okay.
According to
Um,
Frank Raposa, that means it must be wrong, by the way.
Hmm.
these are tough plays. So if you want to vote, so Bill, this is the first time you're joining us. Welcome. Glad you
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
if you want to vote, you have to go to slido.com. You can see that on the right side of my
Oh, I do
screen
see it
here.
now. I
And you
can't
have to,
just tell you guys what I want to do. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, okay.
Some people do it on a mobile phone if that
yeah,
makes
I
it
just put it
easier.
on my phone. Then it's like an audience response system that you just hold in your hand like a conference.
Yeah, you don't have to clutter up your screen with there's already enough things on your screen, right?
So I need another window, I guess, to open that. So what are you
Yeah.
saying? Okay. I'm so technologically challenged. It's ridiculous. Um,
Why don't we see your
16.
the list of people? Jason, is that you block the people? We just see.
Yeah, I took that off because at one point um
Okay.
when we recorded that it obscured the board.
I would like to see Bill Powell's shaved face.
Oh,
Oh
well,
my
you mean the videos? Well, that's on your end.
It's on there.
Yeah, on my
Yeah,
end, I couldn't see it.
You
yeah,
can
that's the
see my
setting on
face
your end.
now
That's not been blocked.
without the beard.
Without the beard. No, I don't. No, I think we don't see. I don't think I can see
No,
it.
Donald,
I'm
that's
sorry,
not
is
a
that
setting on this
www
end.
dots?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is that www.sligo.com?
Okay, if you haven't voted, cast your vote now.
And I asked if there was discussion before I joined. I'm looking at the options up there. Why the only one to just burn the 4-1 is with 24-22 as opposed to like 18-16 and 4-1. Was there discussion about that?
Not so much.
Well, there was some, you were talking about having that 3 to be able to make micro adjustments later, like maybe if you had a 1 or a 2 and you didn't want to use it.
I'm opposed to playing 4-1 because you don't know for sure later on you might want that checker to move 3 pips. And it's not clear now that you don't that you want to avoid that now. So I think you want to save that for later.
I've heard that before here, which is interesting.
Once you play 4-1, you have no flexibility in that you're now going to have to play your entire role in the outfield with your checkers that are coming around.
Seems I can't reach this thing. It says can't reach this page. I'm not understanding.
Are you typing in the
I got on slide.
Okay, sounds like the 2116 has won the vote. So
It says 75% without me even saying it. Now, I don't know where I would put it in. I can't see where I would type 2116. Maybe it's too late now anyway. Anyway, that's my vote.
Okay, let's go back and look. There's some other plays that, 2119,
2419 got 25%.
Yeah, I thought going up to 15 was too close.
but these are all pretty close. So now, interestingly, they've made a point 18, 16, 17, 16. So we can't hit anything now. We would like to be able to hit something because we do have a 5-point board.
I didn't see what the play was. Okay.
All right, now we got a 5-2 to play.
Oh,
So unless they roll doubles,
I think I like 1811.
we're going to get a shot. All right, let's put 1811 in there.
Look, how do I put it? Let's see. This is
Well, I don't have it open for voting just yet.
okay. I like 1811.
Okay, any other candidates that we should look at?
I know we want to keep the one back, but I was just trying to picture in my mind 16-14 and 24-19 just to keep everything within range of everything else.
2419 and what?
16-14.
1614.
Okay.
They're all connected that way.
Yeah.
Connectivity.
But your free safety has come forward too much, in my opinion.
I don't like that aspect of it, but I wanted to at least consider how it looked for the connectivity reason.
Well, if you play 2419, 1614, you're going to get a shot unless your opponent rolls doubles.
Yep.
Even if they roll 6-5 and run right past us, still going to get a shot. Okay, I'm going to suggest a variation on this, which is 24, 22, 18, 13.
Okay. That's reasonable too.
Yeah, I like that one better. I don't want to bring that safety up very far.
I don't move it at all with my 1811 play.
It only gives one checker protecting the 13 and the connectivity instead of 2. It keeps the guard and the further back by 2 pips, which is good. But that's the trade-off is that you don't, if they hit us on the up checker, we don't have the other way. It's a much better, a double shot, if not a single.
I gotta
That's
say,
very
I
bad.
have no idea what I'm doing in this position. I always find these containment positions almost impossibly difficult to play.
Yes, they are in general.
Do you want to use your want your spare on the 4 this time?
This,
You could
the,
use it.
I
you know,
still don't think I
18,
want to use that
13.
spare on the 4.
All right.
no,
Okay, let's vote if you haven't already.
okay, so now I have to go to that other thing again. Jesus, where is it?
Okay, looks like we got 3 votes for 24, 22, 18, 13. This is dangerous. That's what I suggested. I already told you I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's make that play. Look at that. It lit up in green. Can't say I didn't warn you all. A mistake. 24, 19, 16, 14. Okay, we had that in our list of candidates. I have a hard time knowing. what
Well,
I'm
yeah, exactly. You can easily be bypassed. You can easily be jumped
But
over.
I think the double shot returns is the reason.
Yeah, it's gotta be,
That's
right?
why I proposed it and voted for it while I'm voting for it.
Right. Okay, well, we got a fair number of returns here. 4s and 6s.
Yep.
A lot of combinations, so we gotta be able to hit this, right? Piece of cake. There.
You never forget.
Okay.
Well,
All right. This is a no-brainer. No need
that's
to vote
for
on
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's automatic.
Okay.
Wow, he comes right in.
Yeah, piece of cake. Now, I don't think we're anywhere near a cube still.
No.
Oh, no, no
Sixes
way.
and 3s to hit.
Yep.
We even got the fly shot of double 4s will hit.
Yep.
What did I just say?
Throw Joey Cole to the rescue.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're definitely gonna hit. Now, what's our last 4?
13-9. Bring it. Bring those shooters.
So Bill Powell says 13-9,
I think perhaps 16-12.
16-12. I guess since we're already here, I'll say 10-6 is the other option. I don't know. That's safety's a checker. Okay, so I put up for voting the last 4 to play. The first 3 are obvious. We have to hit. And then it's the
Yes.
question of what are we going to do with the last one?
1612
Well,
doesn't bring it in direct range and it gets rid of our furthest back checker. So I would be surprised if that's right.
Exactly. You want two ways to shoot at him.
Right. 13-9 gives a double shot and 10-6, you said it's safeties, but do we care
It
about
gives-
safety at the moment?
He gives him 5-9 and double 5, but so what?
Yeah.
We always come in. He has 0 checkers to
Right.
block.
We'll recycle if we need to. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we'll recycle, assuming that if we get hit, that assumes that we're able to enter.
His odds of closing us out are diminished in this game.
Yeah. I'm not saying I've never danced on a 0-point board, but you know.
Even I never dance on it. Even I never dance.
All right, all the votes are for 13-9, so let's go
Yeah.
for it. And let's see.
Uh-oh.
XG like the
Whoa.
16-12.
Any idea why?
Let's see what it looks like. I don't know. Multiple coverage on rolls like 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-6.
Mhm.
Okay, well, we better hit something now. 5s,
Yeah.
4s.
You only have 4s and 5s.
Look, they cleverly duplicated our 5s.
Yep. As if their play wasn't forced. Huh?
Right.
Ooh. 5-2. Hit and leave it sit there.
Well, hit how?
16-11.
I
Okay,
think the
10 to
11.
5. Hit on the 5 so that we have a chance of closing them out.
Yes, 10 to 5
No.
and 16-14.
Mm.
If we hit on the 11, then what's the deuce?
9-7.
10-8. Maximum builders.
Well, it's the same number of builders, no matter which one of those we move. And the
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
10-5-9-7.
Yvonne, what did you say?
10-5-9-7.
10-5-9-7. So like
duplicates fives.
I mean,
That's,
if you
yeah,
roll
that
that,
duplicates fives. That's right.
Double fives hits us twice. That's fine. We would come right
Well,
in.
yeah, double fives is a great roll for our opponent anyway.
Perfect.
There's nothing much we can do about that.
That's right.
and you still don't want to use the inside checker because I like leaving it at the 16 and hitting 10-5, and then you have more combinations to make the 5 than being two points away. So why not use it?
You're saying 10-5, what, like 4-2?
Yeah. And the 16's far enough back from the 11, and the
Okay,
9
I'll
is
give
far
you
enough
one
back from
reason
the
that has
5.
nothing to do with trying to save that 3, which is putting the checker on the 2-point is going to be bad for our bear off.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, let's vote.
I just somehow not getting this voting thing to work somehow. I don't know what I'm doing.
do you see the list of options on
No,
the screen?
I'm not in the right place. I don't know how to.
If you type the 1296 in that box and then hit the
No, I
arrow,
did.
okay, you
I
should
seem like
see
I've
a
lost
list.
that. Yeah, I've lost that screen.
Okay, we got 4 votes for 10-5, 16-14.
That's what I like.
Uh-oh,
good.
not good. 16-11.
And wrong checker.
That far
Wrong
down?
checker.
It wanted us to hit the 11. Interesting.
I see that. The top 4 plays are all 16-11 here.
Wow, triple whopper.
And then 10-8. Huh.
Our win probability is down over 10% on this play. Interesting.
Wow.
wow.
Okay, we ought to be able to do something good with this.
Well, pick up the second blot.
Of course.
Yeah.
The checker that we were supposed to hit last time.
He's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Hit him now. And 9-7 is my bid.
Yeah.
You want
Okay.
to close, you
The
want to close
second
that
half.
out.
4-2 gives us better chance of closing out next time, but if we're trying to look beyond that, then probably 9-7 for the reason Jason said. But 11 and 9 is better than 11 and 7 for getting a closeout.
I see. So that gives 4-2 some merit then.
I'm not
Right.
mentioning that Jason shot me down twice. Can't be a third time.
Well, now it's different though.
No, this is a trauma-based advice.
The position is a little bit different.
I think 4-2 has a little more merit now, but I'm still not making that play.
Okay.
And part of the reason is that it's going to be bad for the bear off.
For the bear off, yeah.
We need a good bear off here.
Oh yeah, a real good one.
Rick, you asked me about a month ago, what's our winning chances if we close out 2 checkers and we have a perfect bear off? And I ran it at the time, it was 68%. And
Really?
we
That
are
high?
not going to have a perfect bear off
No, we
because of
won't.
those dilly checkers on the 4 and the 2-point. So
Correct.
I'm going to guess that if we get a closeout here, our winning chances may be around 60%.
Okay.
Just
I'm surprised
guessing.
it's even above 50.
Yeah, I had guessed it was lower. Okay, we can vote.
Perfect would be the third one on each of the 6, 5, and 4.
Yeah, that's usually what people would call a perfect bear off.
So the extra guy in the 2 is what makes it impossible to have the
Yeah,
best.
that dude on the 2 is not helping. All right, the votes seem to be for 9-7. All the votes. All right, let's try this. And all right, we got one right.
Yay.
Okay, so let's keep rolling. Let's close this out.
Did they roll yet?
Yeah, they
Oh,
danced.
they failed. Okay. I missed it. All right. This is our 5-4 to play. Okay.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
we did poorly.
That's sad. Very sad. Ooh, I think I like 11-6 and 7-3.
Is there any merit at all for safetying now? That's very different than before.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it still true if he rolls a 5, we really get that guy recirculated so we can catch him again?
Do we have any chance of winning if we do 11-6, 5-1? Or, I mean, do we have a decent chance by doing that? Or do we have to, because if we do 11-6, 7-3, we're not closing them out anyway, really. I mean, unless we get like specifically a 1-3, 1-4, 1-2
Right.
next time.
That's right.
So we're not closing them out. So given that, do we want to take the chance of having to recycle that checker one more time, or do we want to just play safe and have the initiative if he rolls a 5 that maybe we can hit, pick, and pass,
Or even hit loose and sit there.
or even hit loose? So yeah, I think I would argue let's not let him take the initiative by hitting us.
So you don't want to leave the checker there.
I don't, only because if we do, we're never closing them out anyway. So
Right.
I'm assuming that and then going from there.
Okay, let me argue the other way, which is I'm not sure we can win this game if they enter right away.
Okay, but my point is, I don't think we're making any real difference on the keeping them from entering. If we do 11-6, 7-3, we have a grand total of one checker that can close it out, and that can only be done on a very specific 1-2, 1-3, or 1-4 on our next roll. The don't get a 5, we get a 1-2, 1-3, or 1-4, and we've bought ourselves one roll of closeout in that combo. The odds of that happening, I think, are probably not worth giving up the initiative.
Right. Now, one thing that this is going to do is, let's say they miss. Now we're almost assuredly going to bear 2 checkers off next time, which is good
Yes.
progress towards victory,
The other room. I
or at
see
least some progress.
barely used.
Well, I don't know. This is tough. Let's vote.
It's tough.
Feels
Hey,
weird.
Hey, listen, humor me for a second.
Bill, I
Seven.
usually do.
Yeah, I know you do. 7-2-5-4-5-1. I'm sorry.
7-2-5-1.
Okay, so bringing in the 7 instead of the 11.
Yeah, and leave the 6 to potentially pick and pass if he brings one in. No, maybe I don't know. Instead of just a deuce, just a thought. That's what I'm doing. That's what I would do. So that's
I
what
had
I'm
not thought of that. I kind of like the reasoning. My concern is it leaves us with, as Jason was pointing out, we're guaranteed to get 2 off almost definitely the other way. This leaves us with a pretty awkward, maybe 1 off, maybe not even that on our next roll. So it may hurt the bear off when we're going to be really pressing to get off as quickly as we can.
Boy, I can't wait for this game to be over so we can go back to regular backgammon. Okay, let's vote.
Would you ever consider clearing the 6 point? Assuming he'll come in, we will have more chances to hit him, and we can recirculate 1 or 2 men if it hits us.
No, I wouldn't. I would never make that play. I think that's giving up. You need the blocking point. You need the opponent to dance. And
Yeah.
by clearing the 6 point, you're giving up the exact thing that you need in this position, which is that 5th innerboard point.
Okay. I'm not saying I like that move. I simply said, is it a consideration at all? The answer is no.
No, I don't think it's worth considering.
Okay.
I'll bet you that's like a quadruple whopper.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably.
It is.
Okay, lots of votes for the Bill Spruce special.
No,
7251.
don't blame me.
Hey, I kind of have to.
No one else is smart enough to think about it.
Okay, we're gonna make that
Wow,
play.
the Bill Spruce special comes with sound effects.
Nice.
Okay, what is it? 7251?
Yes.
Were those funeral bells?
I hope not.
Look at people should not listen to me.
Okay.
Bill, I've been saying that for years. People should not be listening to Bill
Or at
Spruce.
least eight or nine months.
That could be the right play. I like it.
I also say people shouldn't listen to me, so. Okay, we're gonna do it. It got the most votes. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Red.
3-1, they danced. And
11,
now
6, 7 to 3.
that was the best. Huh.
Okay.
And
And
11-6-5-1 was
clearing the
close.
6 point is a quadruple whopper, as I predicted.
Huh?
Okay,
Mhm.
this time I got it right. I
Yep.
can't
It's
always
just always a
claim that.
big walk.
Okay, they danced. Now we gotta. Okay,
Movie got a 5-1.
5-1. Should we let's just take a
Just
checker off?
bring it in and take a one off.
Yeah.
What the hell?
All right, that seems pretty easy. That's gonna let us keep the 6 point a little longer.
Yep.
Our goal here is we need to keep the 6 point because we want them to dance.
Progress.
We're gonna win this game. We're gonna win this game.
Because they roll lots of sixes and can't use them.
They can't use them.
Okay.
There was a case they could not use a 6.
It
Give it
can
one.
pass.
Okay. I
That's
think we
fine.
got to maintain our
6
board,
to
right?
1 and 4 off.
I think there's no other play.
There can't be.
Double ones.
Are we close enough
Double
to a cube?
ones. Double
Double
ones.
ones.
Recube? No way. Not yet.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute.
Mm.
I'll point out the score. We're leading 3 away, 5 away, and holding a 2 cube.
Don't touch the Don't touch it.
Yeah, don't
Even if
touch
we're
it.
down, I don't think this is a cube.
Yeah, I don't. We're not really doing that great.
I don't think it's a cube if there's still 2 in the bar.
Oh, this is probably good though, right?
Yes.
Well,
not much to decide.
you pretty much have to just clear the 6. There's
Yeah.
nothing else. Yeah.
Well, you got to take 2 threes for sure. And then
Okay,
the
well-
next 2 is, I think it's possibly 6 off.
All right.
He
Maybe we
goes to
should talk
6, so
about
we
it.
still want to get hit, maybe.
Ah, that's a good point.
6 to 3 and 3 off again is what I'm saying.
Grace, you're gonna have
Okay, so we're getting a bunch of feedback here, and I think the reason is there are too many people that are unmuted. So I just muted everyone. We may have to try it where if you need to say something, you might have to unmute yourself and then remute yourself. This day was coming. We've become too popular. You should be able to
Yes,
unmute yourself.
Jason, that happens sometimes in my tutoring
Yeah.
sessions. So you're correct.
And yes, you can unmute yourself, Jason.
Just hit the space bar and it temporarily unmutes you.
But I think you have to keep the 4-point board intact rather than take the 6 off. My vote is to take 2 6s off.
Okay, so I've opened it up for voting now. So in case you didn't hear what Tom says, you can temporarily unmute yourself by just holding down the space bar, kind of like a walkie-talkie.
I like 6 off, 6 off.
Doesn't work for me. If I hold the space bar, nothing happens.
You have to hold it down, Don. You can't just tap it.
Okay. Oh, temporarily unmute. Okay, got you. And then it goes back to being muted. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Bill has it right. You have to hold it down, speak, and then let go of the space bar.
Thank you.
Okay, we're voting now. If you care to cast your vote.
It'll turn out that the only value we have on YouTube is to teach people how to use the interface for Slido and the computer.
Well, we've made a couple of Whoppers today, so it's not like we're providing great backgammon content here.
That was my point.
Whopper is my favorite burger of all fast food burger of all time, by the way. I've been eating them since 1968.
Okay, the vote is close, so if you have not voted yet, you should do so. We got 7 votes in. Anybody else? Okay, I think we're going to go with taking. All right, so we took the 2 checkers up to 6 point. Now, oh, so they came in. So now we're just going to rip checkers off. Here we go.
Did you check whether that was the right move? I missed that if you did.
Yes, and wow, not close.
Jason, you didn't tell us what the right answer. Okay,
There it is.
sorry. Yeah,
Okay, then we ripped a couple off. All right, now we should talk about the cube.
yeah.
I'd definitely like to redouble now.
Is anyone thinking of cubing or not?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're thinking about.
I like the cube.
Yeah.
They're often 4 rolls, most likely. The question is, are they off in 3? And that without doubles. That would require an 8 or better, which is not unreasonable, a 10 or better, which is pushing it, and then a pretty high roll. So they're going to need to out doubles us.
Okay, what's their pip count right now? 30, right? Okay, so we're off in 4 rolls, right?
Hopefully.
Definitely.
They're off in 4 rolls also. I changed my mind. I like to hold the cube one more turn.
I'd like to hold the cube one more time as well.
Yeah, because we have an odd number of pieces, checkers. That's gonna be a problem.
But the 2's a free miss the first time.
And we have a miss, exactly.
I think the problem is just the match score. I think
It's a free
this
miss. It's
score,
also the fact that, right. If we reship it now, that guy can throw it back at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's
Right
their
away.
take point then?
People need to mute themselves if they're not talking.
Yeah, but I'm taking care of that. I'm gonna throw it down. So what's their take point? So their take point is whatever their match equity is at 5 away, 1 away. So that's about 16%. So do they have 16% here?
I would be shocked if this was less than 16% for them right now.
Now, do we have market losers? Are there things that can happen where we will miss the cube and they will drop it next time?
Sure, any doubles above double 5s or 4s will be a market loser.
Yeah. Also, if they roll really poorly. So when you talk
you
about a
doubling
market
hope?
loser, it's
Are
it's
you
not
doubling
just what
hoping they
our roll
take?
is.
Jason, are you doubling hoping they take or hoping they drop?
That's not my problem. I don't
Right.
worry. I don't worry about what my opponent is going to do. Now,
But that's the opponent's problem.
yeah, that's the opponent's problem. Now, we do have to consider, like, do we have market losers, which means that's a sequence of rolls, one of our rolls followed by one of theirs, after which it would be a pass. That's a market loser. Any big doubles that we roll, anything small that they roll, probably going to be a market
Yeah,
loser.
but we have some match losers too. Any two, I think, will be a loser.
Well, a single two is not necessarily going to hurt us. We have an odd number of checkers. So we're trying to get off in 4 rolls, and a single two doesn't hurt us just yet. Now, if we roll consecutive twos, yes, that could be a problem.
Now we have checkers on the 4. We'll probably be okay with the first 2. We put one on the 2.
That's exactly right. When we miss and roll a 2, we're going to play 4 to 2. That's an efficient use of a 2. It fills the gap very nicely.
We're often 4 unless we do better with doubles.
Yeah,
That's
most
not
of the time
really.
we are often 4. Well,
Okay, can we backtrack to a general theory question? You talked about how what their take point is based on their match equity, which is 16%. If we are over 84%, they're dropping. That's fine. Let's think about from the other end. How do you figure out their take point that at what point we should be doubling?
okay, well, there's another computation you can do, which is your minimum doubling point, which is the lowest percentage that you can have to be able to redouble. So I don't know what it is at this score. I imagine it's higher than it usually is. So when the match is even, when the match score is even, the minimum doubling point is 50%. That's the minimum doubling point. It doesn't mean that if you're over that you should be sending the cube over. It means that you need to have that before you can even think about it.
And does that mean at this match score we have to be higher than 50% then, since we have the lead?
Our minimum
Am I
doubling
understanding
point is
that
going
correct,
to be
Jason?
higher than 50% here. Yes, that's right. If it's a last roll situation and you're above the minimum doubling point, then you can go ahead and send the cube over.
If we double, is this a take for white?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I mean, you could also use Woolsey's law, which
When I
says
asked
that
that, you
put
said it's-
yourself in your opponent's shoes. Are you sure it's a take? Are you sure of their decision? And if the answer is no, you're not sure, then you should send the cube over.
She doesn't have any shoes.
And that's because the
Jason, when I
opponent
asked you
could
this
make
question, you
white
said
could
we
make a
don't
mistake
care.
either way. Is that the point, Jason?
Yes, white could make a mistake either way. Maybe it's supposed to be a pass and they take. Maybe it's supposed to be a take and they pass. Now we're playing XG. XG's not going to make a mistake. This is practical advice for playing against a human.
I would be
Of course.
I would be more than happy to play this for a match if he wants to redouble this. I mean, we're playing for the match anyway because it's 4, but if it's a take, it's a redouble, right? It has to be.
Well, yes, obviously it's an
So
auto
there's no
repeat.
point. We're off in 4. He'll be lucky to be off in 4. This is easy double, I think.
I still maintain white has more than 16%. However, I would not have known that the match equity table would have told me that in the first place. So I would possibly be one of those people who would, if playing white checkers, would maybe drop a cube when it's probably a take. But again, if my opponent doesn't double, I'm happy because at least I get to roll the dice one more time.
Okay, so Bill, maybe you don't know what the number is, but you have to know that white is going to have.
That's my issue. I don't really know the match equity table that
But
well.
even if you don't know the number, you know that being behind in the match, if you're white, you're gonna take more aggressively, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if you have not voted, you should do so. We are tied in the vote. So anybody who has not voted may be able to swing the vote.
Are we voting whether we're going to cube or not? Is that
Yes,
the
we're
point?
voting on the redouble.
Okay, I will not redouble.
We're exactly split.
Did you vote on Slido, Bill?
There's 2 bills here now, Adam.
Bill Powell. Did you vote that? Did you make your vote known on Slido?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to put my thing down. Uh, no, I didn't because I'm, I'm too stupid to know how to vote. I
Okay.
want to vote, but I'm inept.
All right. That's the tiebreaker then, because we're tied right now. Bill Powell says no
Okay,
redouble. So
I
let's,
say no redouble.
okay, we're going to roll. Pretty big redouble and a pass.
Yeah, I thought it might be a pass.
They're just under 16%. Um, the take point is actually 15.8%, and they're just below that. Okay.
We got a good roll and they got a bad. So
We
even
got
if
a good roll, they got a bad, so we're definitely
pretty clear.
I mean, we're cheating here by looking at these results, right? We know what to do.
Well, this is what we thought would be a market loser even
This
before
was a
we
market
saw
loser,
that.
but yeah. Okay, so we'll reship it.
I missed what White rolled.
Double ones. Okay. Thank goodness we can go back to regular backgammon now. The score is now Crawford 5 away, so we're leading.
This was a match that you had, Jason, recently?
What do you mean?
This position. This came up in one of your games?
No, we're playing a match.
Oh, you started this. Okay. Never mind.
Well, this is a continuation of a game we started last week, and we just had to stop in the middle, Bill.
Oh,
So
okay. Thank you. Now I'm caught up.
Rich, can you explain that again? What's going on?
just the usual, continuing a match that that was already in progress. That's all. We just left it last week in the weird situation where they had 13 off and we picked and two that we picked up. That's all.
Got it.
Okay, do we want to fight for the 4 point? That's the question here, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I
Yes.
think the good book says hit on the 4 and 24-23.
Does the score matter?
It absolutely matters.
It does sometimes.
Here.
I mean, we should be thinking about that, right? I mean, a lot of your play should be driven by what the score is.
But I would do that at any score.
Okay. Yeah,
Unless it's
sometimes the checker play is you do it at any score.
unless it's Crawford and specifically two away where you're playing absolutely do not get gammoned in almost any other match score, I would think.
Right. So that'd be if you're at gammon save.
Right.
This is
Okay.
not that.
Let's vote. Yeah, this is more like a DMP type situation. Getting gammoned here is not that bad.
Good.
Okay. All right. The votes are to fight for the 4 points. So we'll do it. And then we'll split in the back, try to get those guys moving. Let's see what the bot says. Yes. Not even close. Fighting for the 4 point is a good thing.
6-5-6-4 was the third option ahead of the other one we were
Yeah.
voting on.
All right, they missed us.
Hidden cover.
This one plays itself.
Yeah. All right. We don't even need to vote on this one. Okay. This one we need to vote on.
Oh, I hate this roll. I absolutely hate this roll. Do you go 13-8 and then like 23-22?
That's the first thing I thought of.
You really don't want to stack them all up on the 8.
No, you really don't.
You could go 9-4.
I like 9-4 and 23-22.
Although if he hits you in the outfield, he'll have 2 checkers out there for you to hit him back. It's kind of enticing.
What about 23, 18, 24, 23?
Sorry, Bill, can you say that again?
23, 18, 24, 23. I don't know if it makes any sense, but there's my initial thought was the
Yeah, one of the things that does is it pressures this outfield blot and it makes it harder for White to those checkers that White has on their 8 and 9 point, they're pretty good for making interboard points. And by putting a checker on the 18 point, you kind of force their hand.
yeah. I was just thinking of the tempo play. I mean, this is not a great roll, so because anyway, that was my thought.
I think it's very much worth considering.
I'm going to do 23-18. Do we want to leave the 24 back and maybe just do 9-8? I mean, none of the ones are good, but that gives us the 6, which we wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
I think any of those 5s, none are great, but none are horrible. It's just we have no good one. So that's actually an argument for what Bill just said.
Yeah, I kind of like Rick's idea better. 23, 18, 9, 8. Not playing from the 24. Safety, everything, and
Nobody wants to hit on the ace point.
We only have 9 checkers in the zone, and when you hit on the ace point, you don't have any direct covers for that. So you've sent troops into the battle without any backup. If you had another checker on the 6 point, I think you could consider it. We are behind in the race, which might argue for a bold play like that. We have 2 interboard points made. They only have the 1.
I should rather slot the 7 point with the whole roll than hit.
Yeah, 13-7 is also in some circumstances a good play. Okay, we're gonna make this our last vote, and if you haven't voted, let's do it now. Oh. This hybrid creation of 23-18, 9-8 is winning the vote. Okay, this got a lot of votes. All right, let's make this play, and then we'll take a look. This is the one I voted for. You guys talked me into it. I like the play. And, okay, pretty close. 24-18, slightly better. But I wouldn't lose any sleep over that.
well, my original thought, I think the reason I thought this way originally is to keep the builder on the 9. But then after Rick mentioned that playing the 1, 9-8, I figured, okay, safety's nice too.
Yeah. I think the point of coming to the 18 is to put some pressure on these outfield blots and make it harder, make it so that White has to do something about this blot out here. They can't just leave it there as a very convenient and nice builder. Okay, I think this is going to be a good place to stop. So this is the Mid-Atlantic Backgammon Club study session. If you want to join us for a study session or play in our tournament, send us an email at midatlanticbg@gmail.com. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you,
I had to put this
Jason.
on